So, அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பேர் s.meyyappa from Kuala Malaysia. So, welcome to Panic Series 33. Right. So, it's a pleasure to see all of you, in the virtual platform. I know people from different parts of the world are here. So, that's great. So, as you know, Panic is a talk show, Nagartha talk show. So, we have been introducing new talents, new speakers, people from different parts of the world. We have Australia, we have US, UK, India, Singapore, Malaysia, right? So different parts of the world, different part of a genre, right? We have sportsmen, we have artists, we have a photographer, right? We have a lecturer, we have singers, so different parts of the world, different skills and stuff. So that's the objective of the program, to introduce new people with new skills and stuff, and to share their experience and to inspire more people, actually more of Nagarthas. Okay, so adha mukkiya nokam and the Panic series. So far it has gone 33 series, right? So today we are the 33rd series, right? So that's fantastic. So as you know, before we move on with the program, so just to let you know, this program is being recorded. Okay, so record பண்ணி முடிச்சோன்னா I will upload onto YouTube. I will also share the link with you all later. All right. So while the speaker is speaking, just mute yourself. Okay, you can on your camera, that is fine. But after the session, we'll have a Q&A session. So on the time you can கேள்வி to the speaker, all right? Or you can put on the chat box. That's fine. No issues. All right. So of course we're going to have a conversation with the speaker. All right. So let's go to the speaker. Before I invite the speaker, let me just read something about the speaker itself. All right. So our speaker today, okay, is a passionate Tanjore painting artist who has done various paintings, right? So you will see at the background itself of the speaker the various paintings, and that are only minimal, right? She has more than that, and she has recently received an acknowledgement from the Indian government. Yes, she will be sharing about that later, so don't worry, right? And she shall be sharing more about her passion and her journey in arts itself. Okay, so let us put our hands to welcome Valli Sevugan from Kuala Lumpur. Welcome, Achi. All right, how are you feeling today?
Feeling a bit nervous and feeling good about it also. Thanks for having me on the show. Vanakkam to everybody. Yeah, good evening to everyone who's watching this. Nice to reach out to so many people on this platform. Yeah, so.
Great. Thank you, Achi. So, Modakili, how did you get into this arts, basically? How did it all started?
How did I would rephrase it. How did I get into art? How did art get into me?
Wow.
So I started young. Like most people say, I started young. It came to me from my mother. My mother was a very, very meticulous, very meticulous and neat. Anything that she did with her hand, she was exceptionally good. She didn't pursue art, but avanga panna ellame simple things like cutting vegetables or even her handwriting. Sela mudivanga avlo oru thirthama avlo oru nerthiya irukum. Little things. Everything that she did, she was exceptionally good at it. So avlo oru skilled oru meticulous mother ku porandadanaala and talent gene la irundhu konjam dhaan enakku vandirukku nu na solluven. So that is the base for everything that I do today. I can surely tell you that. School days liye nalla varaiven. Drawing came to me effortlessly. Okay, not just my mother, even my chittis, mamas, everybody, their handwriting, drawing, ellame vanda they were really good at it. So I have a bunch of very creative cousins who I grew up with. So school holidays ellame Karaikudi enga aaya vittukku pogumbodhu we were all together. So it was like a mutual exchange of ideas and creativity. Nee enna panna na enna panna, learning from one another. So that is how it all started. So and okay, so I grew up in Chennai, capital city. So plenty of opportunities to learn, to come across. I used to come across a lot of new stuff, and each of that used to inspire me. And of course, my parents, they never stopped us. They never discouraged us. They were always there. They were always there to support me. So that is how it was. So I grew up doing connected art. Apdi பண்ணும்போது, so we were in Chennai. அதுக்கப்புறம் கல்யாணத்துக்கு அப்புறம் we moved to Madurai. So மதுரைக்கு போனப்போ சென்னையில பண்ண மாதிரி இஸ் தேர் சம்திங் நியூ டு லேர்ன், சம்திங் டு டூ, அப்படி படிக்கிறதுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி அப்படின்னு பார்க்க போகும்போது we stayed in KK Nagar. So Mahatma Gandhi School was just about 2 roads away. So they were doing classes for housewives அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ என்ன பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு பார்க்கறதுக்கு போனேன். Classes on what to say, spoken English and cooking, baking, art and craft அப்படின்லாம் போட்டிருந்தது. சரி, ஆர்ட் அண்ட் கிராஃப்ட்ல என்ன சொல்லி தராங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்கறதுக்கு தான் போனேன். ஸோ அங்க வந்து ஆக்சுவலி sorry to say, they were doing something very primitive, art from waste, recycling stuff, and my romba basic anadhu dhaan pannit irundanga. And okay, what I was familiar with was much about that. So adala I was too interested. So on the coordinator வந்து அவங்க என்ன கேட்டாங்க, what is it you're looking for அப்படின்னு அவங்க கேட்டப்ப I said I do this kind of stuff. So இதை விட வேற ஏதாவது படிக்க முடியுமான்னு பார்க்கறதுக்கு தான் வந்தேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னப்ப she said, oh wow, நீங்க இவ்வளவு பண்ணுவீங்களா, அப்ப நீங்களே சொல்லி கொடுங்களேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. So எனக்கு வந்து to go out and learn is something else, but to go out and teach, that was not on my agenda at all. So I was a little hesitant. I was not interested in what she offered. So அதுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்து அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, say I have 2 daughters, so they will be interested in what you have to offer, so I'll bring them over to your place. நீங்க உங்க வீட்ல வச்சு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறீங்களா அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்க. So to do it from the comfort of my house, that seemed more doable. That seemed it seemed like I had interest for that. So that is how I started. So from the comfort of my own house, on my own terms. So this journey of teaching art and craft வந்து started there. So அவங்க 2 daughters கூட்டிட்டு வந்தாங்க. So I started with them. And then in a couple of sessions 2 more people came in. There were 4 of them, and then there were more and more and more, and suddenly there were people all around me going in and out of my house learning things. I was teaching soft toys. Soft toys was something new at that point of time, Maduraila. So it was like a what do you say, like an explosion.
Wow.
People all around, and day in day out I was doing 2 sessions every day. So it was not just classes at home. There were invitations to go out and teach. So Maduraikku pakkathula places, small towns like Thoothukudi, Sivakasi, Virudhunagar, Innerville of Madurai asked for a workshop from Innerville of Trivandrum. So I went to Kerala to teach. So in the Madri so I was going out and teaching and all that. So
okay.
So this was how things were at that point of time. It was at that point of time that Tanjore Painting went through a major revival, I would say. So it seemed very interesting to me. It was a new form of art. It's something which you have to learn from a guru. It is not something which you see and you do on your own. So அப்போ வந்து என்னோட பெரிய பையனோட ஸ்கூல் ஹாலிடேஸ்க்கு சென்னைக்கு போயிருக்கும்போது I found a master, I found a teacher to learn from. So I learned Tanjore painting from him. So அந்த ஸ்கூல் ஹாலிடேஸ், அவனோட ஸ்கூல் ஹாலிடேஸ்லயே அந்த பெயிண்டிங்கை படிச்சு முடிச்சு மதுரைக்கு வந்து ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணி எங்க வீட்டுல மாட்டினப்போ people, I told you, they were already buzzing in and out of my house for classes. So அந்த பெயிண்டிங்கை பார்த்தவங்க வந்து, oh wow, this is so nice, this is very nice, why don't you teach us அப்படின்னு ஒரு பெயிண்டிங் மட்டுமே படிச்சு பண்ணி இருந்த என் மேல நம்பிக்கை வச்சு படிக்கிறதுக்கு there were so many people willing. So that is how I started teaching Tanjore painting. So
okay.
It's actually, they say when you teach you learn அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல. So that was what happened to me. So I had just learned to do one painting and I was already teaching to do Tanjore paintings. I was learning multitude from people's pictures. So I was teaching and I was learning from my own mistakes and the experiments that we were doing together. So this long journey started there. This is how it started.
Okay. Wow, yeah. Wow, fantastic. You know, a lot of pointers I learned from your speech or from what you say. You know, basically in Sitramum Kaipalakam Sendamunum Nampalakam Sulanga. So definitely it was apt for you. And you know, it came from, you know, all your surrounding, your parents, your cousins and stuff. And your journey started from, you know, Chennai, Madurai, Trivandrum and all the way to KL. So that's great. And you learn from daily basis, you know, naalum padipum solluvaanga. So that's what happened. So it's fantastic. So Archie, I just want to ask you another question. You know, they always say if you want to be a chess player, you have to be very focused, patient, or if you want to be a runner or marathon runner, you should not give up. So those are the characteristics of those people. But for a painting artist or, you know, Tanjore painting artist, what kind of a characteristic should one have?
Not necessarily in sports or just about anything that you do. You need to be very focused. You need to be very dedicated. Okay. Artist irundhalum adedhan. You need to be skill, inspiration, idella vandu to a certain level inborn, I would say. To polish those skills, you need to practice. You need to keep on doing. Edhula neenga vandu you want to excel in anything that you do, you need that practice, that focus, the dedication. It's the same for any field, even for art, it's the same. So inspiration comes from many things. You could even look at a picture and draw. You don't have to necessarily visualize and draw. But drawing அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து it's a skill, and definitely practice helps. Practice makes perfect அப்படிலாம் நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன். Perfect அப்படிங்கிறதே வந்து is a very very relative word. What seems very good to may not seem the same to you. So to better your skills, you need to practice. You shouldn't give up. You need to நிறைய பண்ணணும். You should keep on doing. You should be consistent. And what else? You need to be able to look at your own work like a critic. நம்ம நல்லா பண்ணிருக்கோம் அப்படினு you don't sit back and feel good about what you've done. You need to step out and view your own work and try to improve on your try to learn from your mistakes and improve on your work. That applies to anything that you do.
Okay, so that's great. So you had to be focused and improve yourself, like
Yes.
yeah, I agree with you. So there's no such thing as practice makes perfect. Practice makes you better.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that's great. So that's
Perfect.
good.
There's a big yardstick, okay? And there is no proper definition to that word called perfect.
True. Yeah. And the vaaname ellainu solvaangala. So, that's great. All right. So, usually I was wondering, how do you usually get ideas, basically? Because from your background, I can see a lot of paintings. So where do you get all these ideas?
Okay, to be very honest, என்னோட painting idea அப்படின்னா mostly we draw them based on reference pictures that we pick from the internet, or probably pick it up from Pinterest, something like that. See, to visualize something, to bring that out onto canvas, to be able to create your own picture, to compose your அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் தான் define an artist அப்படின்னா definitely I don't fall under that category. Okay, so majorly all our ideas are from the internet. So if Tanjore painting எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா most pictures, supposing you say, even if you pick a theme, mostly it is all gods, Indian gods, Hindu gods. It's not necessarily Hindu gods, Indian gods. We've done Jesus, Mother Mary, we've done Guru Nanak, we've done Buddha. So generally pictures that people of God pictures which we pray to, and there are other pictures as well, not necessarily God pictures, but so reference pictures from the internet. Supposing you picked a theme, say what பிள்ளையார் அப்படின்னு நீங்க எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா probably just one particular sketch of பிள்ளையார் often gets repeated, often attracts many people. Many people seem to like it. இப்போ கிருஷ்ணான்னு எடுத்தீங்கன்னா கூட probably one sketch or two or even a few sketches of Krishna அப்படிங்கிறது probably is a common theme, but அதுல வந்து ஒரு particular sketch itself is for some reason very attractive to people. So திருப்பி அதே கிருஷ்ணாவை நானே நிறைய பேரோட we've worked on it. So most pictures are from the internet, and okay, I can tell you something else. So எனக்கு வந்து ஓரளவுக்கு நல்லா வரைய வரும். So people come with varied requests. Even though we pick the picture from internet, there are different requests, like இந்த பிள்ளையாருக்கு பின்னாடி ஒரு மண்டபம் இருக்கலாமா வேண்டாமா, maybe we can have a curtain, or if it's a Radha Krishna picture, can we add a scenery behind it? இந்த படத்துல இருக்கிற மாதிரி மவுண்டன், இங்க இருக்கிற மாதிரி வாட்டர்ஃபால், ஒரு மயில், ஒரு மான், ஒரு மாடு, கண்ணுக்குட்டி, whatever. So there are multiple requests. எல்லாருக்கும் அழகா இருக்கு நிறைய விஷயங்கள் எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து அவங்க படத்துல போடணும் அப்படிங்கறது வந்து people have the desire and that. Guided journey, so they know that they will be able to recreate what they see in the reference picture with the guidance. So அவங்களுக்கு அதெல்லாத்தையும் அவங்க படத்துல பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஆசை இருக்கு. So they come with varied requests, and I try to mix, match and put all those elements into one picture. So I draw, and that way probably I compose a picture அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாமே தவிர I cannot take credit for most pictures that we work on.
Okay.
Nothing original, nothing which I drew on my own அப்படிங்கறதே கிடையாது. See, recreate பண்றதுக்கே இவ்ளோ ஆப்ஷன்ஸ், அதுல இவ்ளோ டெப்த், பியூட்டியை கொண்டு வரதுக்கு ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கும். அப்படி இருக்கும்போது why should you even hesitate? That's what I think.
Yeah, that's right. And when you even say the background, right? So although the picture can be the same, but even the background. So background e maathala neenga. So that involves creativity. That's what you say. That's great. All right. So now come to one of the main question. Of course, recently you won recognition. What recognition was that you received recently? Maybe you can say something.
Yeah, okay. So recently I was acknowledged by the India Book of Records for doing a big number of paintings. So I made a claim. I submitted my entry saying that I've done more than 1,000 paintings அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தான் நான் வந்து அப்ளை பண்ணேன். submit பண்ண என்னோட என்ட்ரியை. ஸோ 1000, let me clarify one thing. 1000 paintings அப்படின்னா I sat and do 1000 paintings அப்படிங்கிறது இல்ல. I have worked on 1000 paintings. So if somebody is doing a painting with me, is learning to do a painting with me அப்படின்னா I prepare the board for them, and like I said, I compose the sketch for them. So I guide them through the entire journey, and finally படம் முடியும் போது I draw the face and I finish the picture for them. So my contribution, my input in any picture is considerable. Of course, the person who's doing it, அவங்களோட இன்புட்டும் இருக்கு, நான் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லல. But I've worked on 1000 paintings, so that is what it means. So okay, so India Book of Records அப்படிங்கிறது, that is, it is what the name means. It is an organization which is established, which is registered under the Government of India. It works under the Government of India. So it is placed in, they are located in Faridabad, which is within the Delhi NCR. So அவங்க வந்து, they are the sole custodian, curator, whatever you call, for Indian records. So a record is something when humans try to push the boundaries a little further, when they do something extraordinary, something very notable, something which is nobody's done or not able to achieve, அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களை ரெக்கார்ட் பண்றாங்க, அதுதான். So India Book of Records is like, they have a panel of adjudicators, judges, 50 judges from different walks of life, and they have a committee under them. This committee, this is the committee, it's this committee which scrutinizes, verifies, filters all those applications which they receive, and they submit it to the judges, and they in turn try to verify more, and then they approve of a record. So this is how they function. So எனக்கு வந்து, I never knew, okay, India Book of Records records entries under multiple fields like innovation, science, technology, industry, art and culture and creativity, sports, human ability, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ஃபீல்டுல வந்து அவங்க ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்றாங்க, ஃப்ரம் வெரி யங் டு ஓல்டு, ஏஜ் பார் கிடையாது. ஸோ மல்டிபிள் திங்ஸ் தே ரெக்கார்ட், தே அப்ரூவ். ஸோ ஐ நெவர் நியூ எனிதிங் லைக் திஸ் எக்ஸிஸ்டட். ஈவன் இந்தியா புக் ஆஃப் ரெக்கார்ட்ஸ்னு ஒன்று இருக்குங்கிறது எனக்கு தெரிய கூட தெரியாது. ஸோ ஐ ஹேவ் சோஷியல் மீடியா அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் ஃபேஸ்புக், ஆன் இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் அண்ட் ஆல் தட். ஸோ இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்ல வந்து somebody who I don't even know, Instagramல வந்து day in day out I get messages from random people across the world. Literally every day I get messages from people appreciating the good work that we do. இந்த மாதிரி படம் பார்த்ததே இல்ல, இவ்ளோ அழகா, இவ்ளோ so much of life and so much of depth and so one of a kind, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய appreciative comments, private messages I'm talking about. So அந்த மாதிரி messages வரும். So actually when you see எங்க paintings வந்து நீங்க நேர்ல பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, you will agree that photographs do no justice to the paintings, to the real beauty of the paintings. நேர்ல பாக்குறது is totally different, but then people on social media see only photographs. So they don't even see me, they don't even know who I am. I don't show my face on Instagram, it's only my pictures that I post there, my paintings. So yeah, so அந்த மாதிரி இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்ல வந்து போடுற போட்டோஸை மட்டுமே பார்த்து அவ்வளோ அப்ரிஷியேட்டிவ் கமெண்ட்ஸ் நிறைய வரும் எனக்கு. ஐ ரிலீஜியஸ்லி கோ த்ரூ ஆல் தோஸ் கமெண்ட்ஸ், ரிக்வெஸ்ட் அண்ட் மெசேஜஸ், வாட் எவர். ஐ திங்க் ஐ ஓ இட் டு தெம். சம்படி, என்னை யாருனே தெரியாதவங்க இவ்வளோ ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்து they are reaching out to me அப்படிங்கும்போது I think it is on me to reply to, I try and reply to most of those messages. So அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணும்போது ஒரு நாள் there was a message from somebody who again I don't know. So she was also an artist, much younger than me. She sent me a message, a text message saying a lot of appreciative comments, ரொம்ப nice pictures, beautiful, never seen anything like this before, out of the ordinary அப்படிலாம் சொல்லிட்டு she said you must apply to the India Book of Records. If they did not give it to you, nobody is worth getting it அப்படின்னு she had messaged me. That was very nice to hear from a random person. And then it was not just one text message, there were 2 voice messages from her saying similar things. And she also said how I should access that India Book of Records application. She sent me a link also. There was another message where she had sent me the link for the India Book of Records. So how I link, how I connect to that application form where I submit my entry அப்படிங்கறது வந்து அனுப்பிச்சு வச்சிருந்தாங்க. I was like, யாருடா அது, என்ன யாருனே தெரியாத ஒருத்தங்க இவ்வளோ இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்து இவ்வளோ சொல்றாங்களே அப்படின்னு. It was actually very surprised. I looked into it. I told my husband, இந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தங்க மெசேஜ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு. He said you don't stand to lose anything, why don't you try it அப்படின்னு அவங்க சொன்னாங்க. சரி, ஓகே அப்படின்ட்டு I looked into it. So see, actually my days are very packed. I don't have much time for இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் யோசிக்கிறதுக்கு அப்படிங்கறதெல்லாம் is not on my itinerary at all. So எனக்கு I was a little hesitant. My husband said you don't stand to lose anything அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. சரி, okay, it sounded sensible. So I went and looked into it. There was a big application form with a lot of details to fill in. So அதெல்லாத்தையும் fill பண்ணேன். நிறைய விஷயங்கள் வந்து they wanted photographs and all that. So அதெல்லாம் அப்லோட் பண்ணேன் அந்த லிங்க்லயே பண்ணி அனுப்பிச்சேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் they got back to me in about a week. I heard back from the team of IBR and they said they had asked me so many questions and they wanted proof for so many other things, like நான் தான் அந்த படம் பண்றேன், what is the process of making a painting அப்படிங்கலாம் they wanted to see. So அப்ப வந்து they asked me quite a few questions and they wanted proof, like what are the sizes of pictures that we do, what are the materials that I do, what are the materials that I use, where do I source the materials from அப்படின்னு நிறைய விஷயங்கள் கேட்டாங்க. ஸோ அது எல்லாமே வந்து I had to upload. அதை பண்ணி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் they wanted 1000 paintings பண்ணிருக்கேன்னு சொல்றீங்க. So they wanted proof for the 1000 pictures. So I started 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago. That was not the time of social media. There were no digital cameras. நான் மதுரையில பண்ண படங்களுக்குலாம் வந்து I don't think I have pictures for most of the paintings that I did. So it was not possible to show them 1000 paintings. So அதெல்லாத்தையும் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சேன். So அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னோட இந்த போன்ல வந்து I have about photographs of about 400 and odd paintings. So அதெல்லாத்தையும் அப்லோட் பண்ண அப்படின்னாங்க. That was absolutely time taking, 400 photographs. And I am not a tech savvy person. I had no clue. I had to get hold of a couple of people who were good at it and who were more than willing to help me. So we sat together and then I had to send the pictures to them. They had to compress and send it back to me and then I had to upload it. Oh my God, it took hours and hours and days together. So ஒரு வழியா அதெல்லாத்தையும் upload பண்ணி அனுப்பிச்சேன் அவங்களுக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறம் they wanted attestation from somebody who represents the government of India in Malaysia, in the country that I reside. So the best person for that was the Indian High Commissioner. So Office of Indian High Commissioner. So அங்க போய் Indian High Commissioner approach பண்ணி I asked for his attestation. So அவங்க வந்து மறுபடியும் Indian High Commissioner வந்து நீங்க என்ன பண்றீங்க, what is it you're doing, etc., all those questions, relevant questions. So இந்த ஸ்டோரியை ஃபுல்லா அவங்களுக்கு ரிப்பீட் பண்ணி I gave all this to him and then of course he very soon issued a letter, attestation letter. So Indian government உடைய சிம்பலோட அது வந்தது. அது வந்து was very very prestigious to hold. It felt so good. It is the official stationery of the Indian government with that Ashoka Chakra symbol. So if you're an Indian citizen, you will know how very pumped that is. So அது வந்தது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அதையும் அப்ளை பண்ணேன். I earlier had the privilege of doing an exhibition in the Indian Cultural Center. So that was again hosted by the Indian Cultural Center. So அதோடைய வீடியோ அப்போ அந்த inaugural ceremony அப்போ Indian High Commissioner பேசின வீடியோ எல்லாம் அப்லோட் பண்ணேன். So அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு one fine morning on March 7th, Indian Book of Records approved of my entry and I had to pay for what was called an Achievers Pack to be sent to my address in India. So it carries a medal. It comes with a certificate saying that I am a record holder under the Indian Book of Records. There is a medal and some relevant paraphernalia like a badge and a sticker and a pen and such kind of stuff. So the medal is strung in a ribbon which has the Indian flag's tricolor. So this is what it is.
Wow.
So wear a medal with the Indian tricolor அப்படிங்கிறது is a very very proud thing. So this is the medal that I got with the Indian flags, 3 colors in the ribbon. So this is it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a record holder now.
Wow, fantastic. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking to a record holder now, Indian record holder, right? We have seen the Triranga medal, with her, so that's great. And from her, it's not only that achievement, it's that process that she went through. And then the pioneer, the way she said, she had to explain, she had to go through all the journey, not only with the Indian government, also with the Malaysian High Commission. The Indian High Commission, which is in Malaysia. So you see that the process that she went through, all that, so tireless process, but yet today she's standing as a winner here. So that's great to show. That's what we call because people always say failure is not someone who actually failed. Failure is someone who never tried. So definitely she tried, and that's why she succeeded now. Okay, that's great. So a lot of things that we have learned from her today, right? That's great. Definitely, people who are watching, if you are youngsters, definitely you can take some inspiration from her, right? So Archie, I want to ask you this. Of course, for Nagarthar, we always have doctors, engineers, lawyers, accountant, all profession irukanga. So that's great. But do you think a painting artist, someone can take it as a career?
Why not? See, art is forever. Artங்கிறதுக்கான இடம் is always there in our everyday life. However much science and technology overtakes your life, however modern the society becomes, however much gadgets and digital whatever options take over your life, the place for art is always there. You want to brighten up the wall in your house, or you want to add that ethnic touch, that traditional value to your house, you look for a painting or a piece of art. It could be any medium, but you look for something which is artistic. Even if it is a corporate office, when you want to fill up empty walls, that is what you look for. So art, the desire for art and the demand for art, it's always there. So art, you don't have to necessarily be, it doesn't have to be a job. Mainstream art, even in mainstream art, there are so many options. You could be a professional artist if you're good at it. You could become an illustrator. The digital art, which is taking over the world, and then gaming, animation. So drawing for games, and all is big money nowadays. You could be a lecturer who's teaching art. You could be curator in a museum or in a gallery or something like that. All these are mainstream art related jobs. So it doesn't have to be mainstream art also. You could study art, and that base could be that base which you have with that artistic value in you, that sense of art in you. You could be art directors in the movie world. You could be fashion designer, costume designer. Even a makeup artist has that art sense in you as the base. So art definitely is definitely an option for someone's career. Yes, definitely, yes. There's no question about it at all.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah,
adula doubt kedaiyadu. Art directors have paid lump sums.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, curator, something new I'm learning today, so that's great.
For fashion costume designer in movies and all. So there are options all around the world.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, art can be a profession too, all right? So yeah, so don't have that tunnel vision saying that only to be accountant, doctor, engineer, as a profession, but art can be also a profession, right? That's great. So Archie, I've seen all your paintings, some of your paintings behind, so that's great. So usually how long do you take to complete a painting?
Wrong question. Not to be discussed on public platform. I take a bit of time. To be very honest, romba time eduthu. See, I don't compromise on quality, number one. The positive that is one reason. And one other reason is there are a lot of things in my everyday life. One is it's not just art alone that I do. Of course, I have a family, so family time, and I like people, being with people, so that bit of socializing and all that. So in the middle of everything, art classes happen. So idella poga na our padam pandrathu. So that's why I'm very reluctant to take up orders. So of course, definitely all what I do, I give it my best. So I take a lot of time to complete a picture. For these reasons, a lot of things are happening, and then I take my own sweet time to do it. I don't take up time specific orders at all. So யாராவது என்ன ஒரு படம் பண்ணி தர சொல்லி கேக்குறாங்க, நான் எஸ்ன்னு சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னா, மேல தருவியா, ஜூன்ல தருவியா, அந்த மாதிரி கேள்விக்கு பதிலே கிடையாது. I will do the picture. நான் எப்ப முடிக்கணும் நீங்க வாங்கிக்கோங்க அப்படிங்கறது மட்டும் தான் I tell them. So I can see I don't wrap it up unless I'm happy with it. So I don't always equate it with the money that it brings. Of course, I'm paid for what I'm doing. But if it is for the money that I'm doing, then probably I would accept orders left, right, and center and work at. I don't work that way. I do all of this. I do all of these classes or working on pictures. Anything I do only because I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy doing it. That's why I'm doing it. So, it should give me that happiness. I should be good. I should feel good with what I do. So, I take my own sweet time. I progress at my own speed. And the kalthula katti abdingiradhu never works for me. So I take a lot of time. Yes. So I'm very, very, that's why I'm very reluctant to take up orders. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Something I can, learn from this is, one is, of course, you focus on quality. I can see that. And second thing is you say the happiness, something that we do, we should feel happy first, before giving out to someone. So definitely I can see that the self-happiness, self-satisfaction.
Sorry to interrupt. When you do something like a piece of art, that happiness which you feel is conveyed to the person. பார்க்கறவங்களுக்கும் அதே சந்தோஷம் அதுல கிடைக்கணும். So that is the whole idea of doing something. You don't always target a price tag and you do. It is about the happiness that it brings to you. So that is how I look at it. I do it because it makes me happy. எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கு, நான் பண்றேன். So நான் எப்படி பண்ணுவேனோ, எப்ப பண்ணுவேனோ, எப்படி பண்ண முடியுமோ அப்படிதான் நான் பண்ண முடியும். உங்க அவசரத்துக்கு என்னால பண்ண முடியாது. I mean, it sounds a bit abrupt, but that is the truth. So I deliver something which is very good. So see, பெயிண்டிங் கிளாஸ்லயுமே நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு படத்தை வந்து the journey is quite long, even whether they do it or I do it, the journey is quite long because we go into finer details. I guide them. It's almost like a handheld journey when they do a painting with me. So most people are probably don't have too much familiarity with art, or probably have lost touch with art, or probably are not used to this kind of finer detailing. So என்ன ஆகுது, the journey is slow. It is about making them do it. It is not about நான் வரைஞ்சு கொடுத்து அவங்க நல்ல படம் வீட்டுல மாட்டிக்கிறது சந்தோஷம் இல்லை. அவங்க பண்ணணும். அவங்க பண்ண படத்தை அவங்க வீட்டுல மாட்டும் போது that happiness is something else. So we spend time, I spend time, I try to bring out the best in them. So we sit and work together. It takes time. So நீங்க படத்தை வந்து ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணி ஷார்ட்ல மாட்டினதுக்கு அப்புறம் நீங்க 6 மாசத்துல முடிச்சீங்களா 7 மாசத்துல முடிச்சீங்களா யாரும் கேட்க போறது இல்ல. How nice it is, how much of depth is, how much of beauty there is, that is what matters. So the happiness that you feel when you do it, it gets conveyed. That is what gets portrayed on the canvas, and that happiness is beauty lies in the beholder's eyes அப்படிம்பாங்க. அவங்க பார்க்கறது அது அழகா இருக்கணும், அந்த சந்தோஷம் அவங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கணும், அதெல்லாம் is the whole idea. So that is why it is a long journey. Yeah,
that's great. So that's something I can really see from an artist itself, the so-called the integrity of that work. So that's great. All right, so I'm sure a lot of youngsters are watching this, and also parents with youngsters. So what is your advice for these budding artists who would like to come into this field?
Okay, budding art, Abhina, you're talking about youngsters. Okay, let us talk about pictures that okay, fine. So if you're starting young, நிறைய பண்ணணும். Practice definitely helps. பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும். It is not about நான் பண்ணனே நான் நல்லா பண்ணிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு you don't pull your collars up. You need to keep on doing. You need to look around you. See, it's all about being dedicated to your work. You don't compromise on quality. You don't give up so soon. And it is about being consistent. நிறைய பண்ணுனாதான், the more you do, the better you become. எல்லாமே that's what I tell everybody. You keep on doing. When we start something in class also, I tell them go back home and practice. So the more you do, you're doing something which is totally new to you. So keep on doing. How did I get better? I just kept on doing it. I was doing it on other people's board, other vishayam. So you keep on doing, the more you practice, the more better you become. So that is what it is all about. And it always helps to learn. You don't have to necessarily probably do BA Fine Arts. Padikadinga na sollala. BA Fine Arts padikalam. There's an option called Fine Arts. Padikkathukku or option irukku. Padikalam. To learn from a guru அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து definitely helps. Learn the finer nuances. எவ்வளவுதான் நீங்க வந்து ஆன்லைன்ல யூடியூப் வீடியோ அது இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தாலும், to learn from a guru physically அப்படிங்கிறது helps a lot. You learn by observing the finer nuances. ஒருத்தங்க பண்ணும்போது பார்க்கும்போது அவங்க நம்மளுக்கு காமிக்கும் போது you get the belief that you can do. So to learn from a guru வந்து helps a lot. And of course the time that you put into it, how dedicated and how much of time that you give for it, it's very proportionate to the kind of output that you get. So that is it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. So of course, practice, so practice makes you better. So definitely practice is one. And get a guru, get a coach, right? Learn from that person itself. And of course, the dedication, the time that you invest. That's great. All right, it's fantastic. So the good takeaway for youngsters, especially, nowadays. So,
I have learned from many people. There are things that I'm interested in, not just Tanjore Painting. Of course, Tanjore Painting turned the focus light on me, so we're talking about it. But there are many things that I'm interested in. I've gone out and learned from people, and I know how very beneficial it is to learn from a teacher. So there's so much that you pick up by just observing the person. That adds value. That I will totally watch for. Na Tanjore Painting or master kitta irundhu padichen. So he was a professional artist, and I was like a total novice in front of him. I was like a zero when I was looking at him, and there was so much of learning in that process. அவரை பார்த்து அவருக்கு வந்து எஃபர்ட்லெஸ்ஸா வந்தது. அவர் பண்ணின காமிச்ச விஷயம் எல்லாம் was like child's play for him. But for me, it was a big learning. So definitely it adds value.
Right, it's fantastic. So Archie, you have done a lot of paintings, all right? So if you were to share one painting which is so memorable for you, what would it be?
A very difficult answer. 1000 paintings அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். 1000 அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து இப்போ 2022ல அச்சீவ் பண்ண நம்பர் இல்ல. நாங்க 2017ல எக்ஸிபிஷன் பண்ணும்போது I came out with a brochure for the exhibition. அப்பவே வந்து I had said 1000 plus paintings அப்படின்னு சொன்னப்பவே I sat back and I did a estimate, an average count of the paintings that I had done. Appave I had 1000 plus to my credit. So 2017 to 20, almost 5 years more now. We are so much more than 1000 paintings. So okay, let's leave out paintings which other people have done, which people have learned to do from me. What paintings I have done அப்படிங்கறத மட்டுமே எடுத்தாலுமே It's very difficult to say. If see, it might sound a bit cliche. ஒரு அம்மா கிட்ட போய் வந்து உங்களோட எந்த சைல்ட வந்து உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் அப்படின்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா there will be no answer to it. So அந்த மாதிரி any painting that I do, all of it is extra special to me. Each of it is very very dear to me அந்த மாதிரி. So it is very hard to say what is very close. I give it all my best. People see working on pictures just grow in front of other people's eyes and they say உங்களுக்கு எப்படி இத கொடுக்க மனசு வரும், எப்படி நீங்க கொடுக்க போறீங்க அப்படிலாம் கேட்பாங்க. Each of it is special to me, but I have the clarity in my mind when I start itself. இன்னொருத்தங்களுக்காக பண்ற படம் அப்படின்னு எனக்கு வந்து சந்தோஷம் அப்படிங்கிறது நான் பண்ற படத்தை அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்து it reaches the destination. They receive it with so much of warmth and so much of love and appreciation for what I've done for them. So that is what makes me happy. So that way I would say all pictures are very special. But then okay, since you asked, I can tell you something. There is one picture that I drew for my son. Okay, so for his future house, when he has a house of his own, for him to put up in his house. So it is a baby Krishna. So என் பையனுக்கு பண்ணனே அப்படிங்கறதுனால probably that is why it is very special for me. It's a very small picture, and I've made sure that nobody duplicates this picture. I don't hold any rights to it. Try to display anybody who wants to recreate it. Anyway, so that is one thing which is very special to me. எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச படத்துல அது ஒண்ணு. Yeah, otherwise it's all the same. I'm happy with all that I have done. Yeah.
All right. Wow, fantastic. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are having interesting conversation with Valli Achi today, all right, a record holder, right? So on Tanjore Painting. So if you have any other questions you want to ask or you want to share with our speaker, please do unmute yourself and ask question to the speaker, or you can also put it at the chat box. All right, I can bring it out and ask the speaker today, right? So while waiting for the questions coming in, Achi, I want to ask, how does all these paintings have changed your life?
It has not changed my life. It's become a way of life. அப்படிதான் நான் சொல்லுவேன். Art has become a way of it's always been a very integral part of my everyday life. See, for more than half my life I've been doing this. So age என்னன்னு கேட்றாதீங்க. Okay, more than half my life I've been drawing pictures, teaching to draw pictures. Of course, not just drawing. I do other things also, but then we are talking only about Tanjore Painting. So I've been doing this for a good number of years. So I've been surrounded by people. It brings a lot of happiness to me. If I was not doing art, what else would I be doing? I don't even have an answer to it. I still will be doing something, probably not teaching or being surrounded by people, but I will still be doing something related to art, probably doing a bit of embroidery or drawing for myself or for my sister, for my cousins, for my children. அந்த மாதிரி அப்படிதான் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்திருப்பேன். So art has filled in my life with a lot of happiness. It has brought into my life so many wonderful people who have similar interests. So நான் வந்து நிறைய தடவை எனக்கு தோணும், நான் மட்டும்தான் இப்படி ஆப்சஸ்டா இவ்வளோ ஒரு கிறுக்கு பிடிச்சு போயிருக்கேனா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரிலாம் எனக்கு தோணும். பட் when you see there are other people who are equally interested, so passionate about art, in fact even more passionate about it, people who are much older than me who are so focused in anything to do with their hands, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் பார்க்கும்போது I feel so nice to be connected with such kind of people. If I was not doing this, I may not even have known them. So it has brought in such wonderful people. They are not just people who are in Kuala Lumpur near me or probably my cousins. அது மட்டும் இல்ல, people who have now moved out to different parts of the world. I'm still connected thanks to this digital world. So அதனால எனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி see, there is one saying in தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவாங்கல, கற்றாரே கற்றாரே காமொருவர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. I think it's அவ்வையார் மூதரைன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So அந்த மாதிரி when you get to interact with people with similar interests, like-minded people, it makes you so happy. So even now to work with such people, to have such conversations, healthy discussions with them, all that makes me very happy. So if not for art, that may not be in my life at all. So that I'm very happy about. So and there's one thing I always say, even if I was not, probably even if I did not eat or drink, if I don't do anything related to art, it leaves me restless. I become that is how I am. So absolutely obsessed, passionate, whatever you call. So that is what art has brought into my life. That is what art does to me. Yeah.
Okay, oh, fantastic. So the passion became part of your life itself, right? That's great. All right. So yeah, there's a question here. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
Dr. Valli, not only artistic ability, but your fluency in English is also very much appreciated. You're very good, very good. You are able to convey the message very, very well. I'm impressed with it. Now, I want to know, are any of your children going to inherit this hobby or talent? Do you think you have sort of done something for the ability not to stop with you, but also future generations?
Thank you, and thanks first for the compliment on my English. Thanks to my school, my schooling, Rosary Matriculation, Chennai. So, and my parents who took me there. So, yes, thanks for that. My children and art, they are very far apart. And both my boys, I have two boys, one is working, one is studying. They carry the father's gene, I think. So, next generation probably or interest wait பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் நான். Both my boys have had plans for art at all, very sadly. Yes.
Oh, right.
All right, no problem. So I think there's a question from the chat box. How do you manage to draw so meticulously and consistent?
Can you read who asked me that question?
It's by Parvati Ravikumar.
That's my sister.
All right.
Okay, we share a talent gene, my dear sister. So, amma kittandu vandadada, and the more you do, the better you become. That has been, and I've been surrounded by people who have had faith in me, who've given me the opportunity to work on it day in, day out. So, like I said, oru padam mattume pannittu vanda en mela nambika vechu padikkiradhukku there were so many people. I am still so surprised how it started. So, since I was able to draw well and I had learned the process from Shekhar Master, so it was just putting two and two together and starting off from there. But I owe a lot to all those people who had faith in me and who learned from me. Definitely we made mistakes, and when I look at my early pictures, when I look at the pictures I drew in the early days and what I draw now, I've come a long way. So அவ்வளவு primitive-ஆ இருந்த ஸ்டேஜ்லயே என் மேல நம்பிக்கை வச்சு படிச்சவங்களுக்கு தான் நான் வந்து தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்லணும்.
All right, fantastic. And she also acknowledged that the sister's granddaughters, which will be her granddaughters, will be following your footsteps. So at least your generation is continuing. That's great.
True. They say it passes on beyond one generation. I see that in her granddaughter. A little kid visited us recently, and I was very surprised at the amount of interest that little one had. அந்த குட்டி பாப்பாவுக்கு வந்து I think வயசு 6 or 7 தான் நினைக்கிறேன். That girl was so keen. She was scrolling through my phone, looking at all the process videos that I have in my phone. Not just painting or drawing videos, even videos of mixing clay and the technical part எல்லாம் கூட அந்த குட்டி பாப்பா வந்து அவ்வளோ ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டோட பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருந்தா. So I believe that she probably is an eligible candidate to carry it forward.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So it's, how you influence people indirectly, and definitely and the Kuti Baba got influenced with your work. That's great. All right. So, Achi, go ahead.
So I'm one of your Instagram followers, Tanjore Painting. So I have a question.
Yes.
So I've seen you with lots of Tanjore painting things, and also on the clay art and சொல்லி நிறைய அது போடுவீங்க. So how did you, this is different and that is different, rending எப்படி, what made you learn the other thing also?
Okay, Ratna painting, Tanjore painting அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ஒரு விஷயம் மட்டும்தான். We are talking about it because there is a focus light on that. Okay, so அது தவிர there are so many other things that I'm interested in. In fact, to be very true, embroidery வந்து is a greater passion. There's a greater inclination towards embroidery. But Tanjore painting has overtaken everything else. I'm not complaining, but I'm just telling you. So, அது தவிர Tanjore painting தவிர I do ribbon embroidery. Of course, எல்லாரும் பண்ற cross stitch தான் நானும் ஆரம்பிச்சேன். So, அதுவும் பண்றேன். So, there's something called sculpture painting. I do greeting cards as well. You do greeting cards, right? I do greeting cards. I do ரொம்ப high-end custom-made greeting cards. இதெல்லாம் பண்ணினேன். இப்போ அதெல்லாம் டைமே இல்லை. So, sculpture painting, relief painting, நிறைய விஷயங்கள். So clay art is one among the many things that I have interest for. So I saw somebody doing things related to that. I just got swept off the floor. எனக்கு வந்து I fell head over heels in love with what I saw. So அது என்ன யாரு எப்படி பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு கொஞ்சம் I just went in and probed, and I found that she was a teacher based in Indonesia. So அதுக்கப்புறம் I started following her on Instagram, looking at her posts, hours together, days together. I would have looked through her posts. and I was swept off. அப்படியே நான் பார்த்தது வந்து I was so engrossed in what I saw. Apram, I contacted her and she said she teaches and all that. So how long does it take? Ella enquiry panni mudichittu I tried to talk my husband into going to Indonesia and learning it from her. So thankfully the husband of mine didn't say no. In fact, he accompanied me to Indonesia. I did a trip all the way to Indonesia to learn art. Okay, art, craft, whatever you call it. Ullurla padichadallam poi I did a trip all the way to Indonesia and I spent 5 days learning from her. 5 very beautiful days. She has a studio where she teaches. So it was like a dream world. And to be a student all over again was a different experience. And she was a very skilled teacher and it was a totally new set of things. It's very difficult to explain the joy that it gave me. So 5 fully packed days from morning till evening, 9 to 6. She said 5, but till 6:30 I was in a studio. So I went with 2 empty suitcases and I brought back one whole truckload of things. It's not just the learning, the projects that I did there. There is an art store in Indonesia which sells one whole lot of things which Art Friend doesn't sell. So art land அப்படின்னு பேர் அந்த கடைக்கு. அங்கே போய் என் ஹஸ்பண்ட் வந்து கடை மூட போறாங்களா, அங்கே ஒண்ணுமே இல்லையா, வா போலாம் அப்படிங்கிற அளவுக்கு I picked one whole lot of materials from there and I came back to Malaysia. And immediately afterward the curtains fell, the pandemic happened and all doors were closed, all doors, windows, everything was closed. And then I started buying materials because it was a totally new kind of art. So materials வந்து எனக்கு பழக்கம் இல்லாத விஷயங்கள், techniques were new, everything was new. So then I started buying online. ஏன்னா படிச்சுட்டு வந்துட்டேன், எனக்கு வந்து I'm so full of energy to recreate based on what I learned. படிக்கிறது அப்படிங்கிறது சும்மா ஒன்று பண்ணோம் கொண்டு வந்து வீட்டில் வச்சோம் அப்படின்னு I want to do something based on what I learned. So went about shopping left, right and center online and then trying new things. Thankfully no classes were happening because of the pandemic, so all my time was for clay art. So அப்படிதான் வந்தது this obsession. Yeah, it's the joy it gave me again.
All right.
Yes,
Right. All right, so I can just say, there's no border for art. You have been, so you have traveled, so far, although within India, but also Indonesia and stuff. So that's great. All right, and you've also proven that and the materials or ideas, it's not just within India, but it can be also from different countries and different cultures.
Yes.
Right, that's great. All right, so for audience, if you have any other questions or anything to clarify or ask our speaker today, we have a record holder in house. Right, so there are a lot of compliments coming now. One of them said that knowing Valli auntie, she's a very energetic person. I usually wonder how she has the patience to do this and teach others especially.
Okay. I would like to take credit for that, but then patience and me, I'm a very impatient person. My 2 sons can vouch for that. But with art, and when it is not your own child, I think you are more tolerant, you're more patient, and your responsibility becomes limited when it is somebody else. With your own children, they are your own responsibility. So I've always been a very strict mother. So teaching others has always been easy, to be very honest.
Yeah, that's right. So that's great. So I think a lot of people are wishing you, to reach greater heights. And blessed to have you as a guru. And wow, hats off to your undeterred passion. All right, that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for that.
Fantastic. All right. So so looks like we have come to the end of the session. All right. So any final words from you, Archie, to the audience?
I think we've said it all. To be focused, to be consistent. Art has, countless options for a career. It brings joy, everything. So yes, thanks to everybody who has faith in me, who've given me opportunities. See, I don't canvas, I don't tell people I teach, why don't you come and join classes? For that matter, I don't even call myself an artist. I have my own reservations for that, because I told you to visualize something, to create that, to bring that out on canvas. See, like everybody does, even I started that way. I've looked at nature, been inspired by ideas and drawing and all that. But then once I started teaching, all this overtook everything. So there hasn't been much of a need to do all that, much of time to do all that. So இதுவே வந்து catering to the demand of 20-30 people every week அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து is very time taking and very laborious. Like everybody, when anyone wants to do one painting, it is not just teaching them. There's so much of work before and after. So I need time for all of that. So அதை தாண்டி வேற எதுவும் பண்றது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் ரொம்ப கம்மி. ஐ மீன் டைம் ஸ்பேன் ரொம்ப கம்மி. அண்ட் லைக் ஐ செட், ஐ ஹாவ் வேரிட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட். எல்லாமே ரொம்ப அப்படி ஒரு பேஷனோட தான் படிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன், இண்டல்ஜ் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சேன். பட் ஐ வாண்ட் டு டூ திஸ் பிக்சர், ஐ வாண்ட் டு டூ திஸ் பிக்சர் ஃபார் மை செல்ஃப், ஐ வாண்ட் டு டூ திஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஐ மேக் பர்சனலைஸ் கிஃப்ட்ஸ். தட் சம்திங் விச் ஐ ரியலி என்ஜாய் டூயிங். ஸோ ஒருத்தங்களுக்கு செஞ்சு எனிபடி ஹூஸ் இன்டு ஆர்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு நீங்க பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, it is not just the money that it could bring, it is more the appreciation. Fine art la indulge பண்ற எல்லாருக்குமே appreciation. See, a performing artist அப்படின்னா அந்த audience ஓட claps அதுதான் வந்து is the most what is it, the most stimulating thing for anybody. So அதே மாதிரி தான் fine artsல, even if you are வரையறதோ பெயிண்ட் பண்றதோ இல்ல கிரியேட்டிவா பண்றதோ, it is that appreciation that it brings, that is what is the most stimulating thing, that is what inspires you more and what to say, you want to do more அப்படிங்கறத ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வரதுக்கு காரணமே அதுதான். So I always make these personalized gifts to give people. So அவங்களுக்கு இதை பண்ணணும், இவங்களுக்கு அதை பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கறத நிறைய இயர் மார்க் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கேன். பட் அதெல்லாம் பண்றதுக்கு எப்ப டைம் இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு, see pictures for my own self or probably for my children அப்படிங்கறது கூட there's very little time. So so I need to do all that. So it's a very happy journey to be doing what I really enjoy doing most. So I'm very thankful for that, to God, to the people who support me, to my family, to start with my parents, my father, because my mother was my inspiration and the reason for all this, the skill that I have inherited, my husband, my children, who've been tolerant to everything that I do, don't do. So I love me, and of course the people who surround me with so much of love and affection and the faith that they have. So thankful for all of this.
That's great. They always say ஒரு கலைஞனுக்கு வந்து கைத்தட்டல் தான், அந்த ஆடியன்ஸோட கைத்தட்டல் தான் முக்கியமானது. So that is all will bring out artists or champions. So I think there's one question here. Since you have achieved so much, what is your future plan?
See, எதுவுமே பிளான் பண்ணி பண்ணல. நான் டீச் பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சு வந்து பண்ணல. நான் மாஸ்டர்ல படிக்கும்போது எனக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கு, எனக்கு அதை பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்பட்டேன். ஸோ யாரோ கேட்டாங்க, அது நோ சொல்லுங்க, அதனால சொல்லி கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன். அப்படியே ஸோ ஐ கெப்ட் டூயிங். அப்புறம் மலேசியா வந்தேன். Once again, it started. Somebody saw me. I was sitting and doing a painting from my father's house. So somebody, my husband's friend, they saw and they said, "Yena kon padam panni kodu." So we said, "Okay." And I was not teaching in Malaysia. Malaysia was the police, so I was not teaching. So Malaysia, I did carry on the videos because I knew I wanted to do pictures for myself. So I made my husband a friend did for me. So இப்படி அப்புறம் வந்து there was a newspaper. Somebody from the front paper, a friend of mine saw me drawing. My husband, he saw me drawing. I have a friend who does coverage for some paper. அவரை வந்து இதை பண்ண சொல்ல அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்டாங்க. My husband said, "Why should you say no?" அப்படின்னு. சரி, ஓகே அப்படின்னு. So there's an article in newspaper. So English paperல வந்து That is a truth. It just happened. So whatever God gives, I take it. That's it. I strive to give my best. I do it because I'm happy. That's the only two things behind everything. So whatever comes.
Okay, that's fantastic. You are just moving on, and when things come, you just take it and just move on. Right, that's great. And as long you're satisfied, you do wholeheartedly. That's great. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a interesting conversation with a record holder, Indian record holder, on a Tanjore painting. So that's fantastic. So thanks a lot to Valli Achi. We learned a lot from you today. All right. It's definitely inspiring, especially for me and for the youngsters over there. All right. How dedicated a person should be, the discipline, the self-satisfaction when you do something, right? Especially artwork and stuff. All right. And how you can inspire people and get people, to succeed you. All right. Without you, going guiding them directly, but they get influence indirectly from you. So that's fantastic. All right. So thank you very much, Archie, for all your time and effort. So thank you everyone for all your time. Thank you. All right. So for
connecting me to so many people. Sure. I've just shared all what came to my mind. I hope it made interesting listening. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Archie. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the session. So if you have any other speakers or any other topics for suggestion, do let me know, or I can get connected with the speaker. All right, or you can just recommend to me, so that's fine. All right, so I can look out for the speakers. All right, so do wait for the next session. All right, it's coming soon. All right, in a couple of weeks. So yes, with an interesting topic and interesting session. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day, rest of the day. Thank you. Vanakkam.
Thank you.